Captain Elias Ward stood at the edge of the crystalline lake on the moon the Lara 7, admiring the soft shimmer of twin suns on the horizon. The peace was broken by the graceful descent of a shuttle, its hull bearing the sigil of the Kalari Empire, a rose-shaped sunburst. Out stepped Princess Sireya Kaler, third daughter of Empress Thalmarin, and diplomatic representative of the Empire. She was stunning in the alien way. 8 feet tall, opalescent skin with hues of blue and lavender, and eyes that shimmered like nebulae. Her long head tendrils, sensitive to emotion, fluttered slightly as she approached. "Elias Ward," she said, her voice carrying a melodic resonance that tickled his inner ear. "You honor us with your presence." "You invited me for peace talks," Elias replied, raising an eyebrow. "Didn't think that'd come with a royal welcoming committee." She smiled. "Peace talks, yes. And an offer. An offer. To unify our peoples." She stepped closer and placed a long-fingered hand against his chest. "By bonding. With me." Elias choked on nothing. "You want to marry me. It is the Kalari way. The strongest warriors mate with those they respect. You won the Battle of Thur by sheer force of will and compassion." "I also blew up a dreadnought," Elias muttered. "Yes," she said, her eyes shimmering brighter. "Beautifully." Elias opened his mouth to reply but was cut off by the thunderous roar of another shuttle. It landed beside the first, and out stomped a second Kalari woman, taller, fiercer, and with crimson hues laced in her skin. "Sireya, you traitor. You think to claim the human alone." "Rylka," Sireya hissed. "This is not your concern." "Oh, it is exactly my concern." Rylka turned her glowing gaze to Elias. "I am Rylka Kaler, second daughter of the Empress. I too demand a bonding. Human, you can't just marry her. My sister demands that you take me as well." Elias blinked. "This is going to be a long day." 2. Alien courtship is complicated. Elias sat between 2 very tall, very intense alien princesses in a glimmering Kalari banquet hall. Sireya fed him glowing fruit with tender grace. Rylka offered him roasted thorn meat by shoving it into his hands and glaring possessively. Kalari culture, he was learning, treated political marriages like strategic conquests. Since humans had no interstellar monarchy, Elias, a decorated war hero and diplomat, was the highest-ranking eligible human. "You will marry us both," Rylka declared between bites. Kalari law permits shared bondings in noble disputes. "That's not how human relationships work," Elias said, dodging Sireya's attempt to stroke his hair. "Then adapt," Rylka growled. "I don't think. Do you not find us worthy?" Sireya asked, her voice suddenly trembling. Elias looked between them. Sireya, kind-hearted and politically savvy, wanted peace. Rylka, brash but sincere, wanted strength and unity. They weren't just fighting for him. They were fighting for a future where humans and Kalari weren't at war. He sighed. "Can I get a moment to think?" 3. Humans are weird but honest. Back in his quarters, Elias called his second-in-command, Lieutenant Ronnie Solis. "They both want to marry you," she laughed over the holocom. "Damn, Captain, you got that interstellar riz." "This is serious, Ronnie. If I accept, it might end the war, but I'd have to actually bond with them. Emotionally. Biologically. They have tentacles. Just head tendrils. They glow when they feel strong emotions. It's kind of beautiful. You're catching feelings, aren't you?" Elias rubbed his forehead. "I don't know. Sireya's gentle, diplomatic. But Rylka has this raw honesty that's... Look, they're both intense. But sincere." "Well, if it helps," Ronnie said. "You always said you'd die for peace. Maybe now you just have to marry for it. For the ultimatum. The Empress herself descended from orbit the next day. Towering over everyone, dressed in robes of black flame, she regarded Elias with piercing, ageless eyes. You have shaken the stars, human. My daughters will not relent. Choose. Elias took a deep breath. Then I have a counteroffer. The court gasped. He continued. On Earth we believe in love. Not obligation. So if I'm to bond with anyone, it's on one condition. The Empress narrowed her eyes. I will spend 1 week with each princess. One-on-one. No pressure. Just time. To understand who they are. Sireya stepped forward. You would give me your time to know me? Yes. Then Rylka. And me. You will spar me in the arena face to face. Absolutely. The Empress chuckled. Very well. Let the trials of courtship begin. 5. A week with Sireya. Elias spent 7 days walking moon gardens, watching solar operas, and engaging in deep conversation with Sireya. She was a dreamer, a peacemaker. She had studied Earth languages and recited poetry from memory. I don't want to conquer Earth, she whispered one night under the twin moons. I want to dance with it. Create a future where our children see both stars and oceans. Her tendrils glowed soft pink. You speak like a poet, Elias said softly. I learned from the best. She reached for his hand. He didn't pull away. 6. A week with Rylka. Then came Rylka's week. Intense, loud, full of combat drills, war stories, and endless cups of fermented root wine. Rylka sparred him hard but laughed harder. She was a warrior, but not heartless. I hate peace, she said after knocking him on his back. But I hate war more. That doesn't make sense. It does when your people die no matter what. She offered him a hand up. You're strong, human. But you fight for others. That's rarer than skill. Rylka, he said after a long silence, you hide your heart behind fire. Maybe. But you see through it anyway. Her tendrils shimmered gold. A warrior's color of honor. 7. The decision. The final ceremony was set on the orbital palace. The Empress waited with the court. Sireya and Rylka stood on either side of a dais made of starlight crystal. The bonding thread, a literal glowing filament, awaited Elias' touch. You may choose now, the Empress said. Elias stepped forward. The court hushed. He looked at Sireya. You gave me hope. Then to Rylka. You gave me fire. He turned to the Empress. But what they both gave me was truth. And choice. He turned back to the sisters. So I choose both. The court gasped again. Sireya blinked. You will. If you choose it too, Elias said. Rylka stepped forward, crossing her arms. I won't share out of pity. This isn't pity. This is unity. I see both of you. And I respect you as equals. Sireya's tendrils glowed pink again. I accept. Rylka stared at him a long time, then smiled. Well, I always did want to outdo Sireya in everything. She turned to her sister. Let's bond this weird, reckless human. Together. 8. Epilogue. Humanity's prince consort. Years passed. The war ended with a treaty bound in love and alliance. Human and Kalari technology fused into marvels. Trade, culture, and exploration flourished. Captain Elias Ward, now Prince Consort Elias Kaler Ward, watched his twin children play beneath the amber suns of Kalara Prime. One child had glowing tendrils like their mother's. The other had human eyes but Kalari strength. Sireya approached, placing a hand on his shoulder. Rylka tossed a training spear nearby and laughed as the children squealed. "You did the impossible," Sireya whispered. "You united warriors and dreamers," Rylka added, stepping beside him.